Hi, this is Sung. I'm the co-founder and CEO of EventX. So today we're going to talk about three things: the vision, mission, and core values of EventX. Let's start with the vision. A lot of people might ask, why did you start EventX at the very first place? And I would like to share, event is actually a place for people to build a lot of meaningful relationship and share knowledge. But actually the event is actually very troublesome, very manual to organize, and there's a lot of things to manage at the event. You run into a lot of hiccups, problems. What we really want to do is to use technology to empower people to host event anytime, anywhere, and it's for anyone. So everybody can actually do events. Actually, I would like to share a few stories like why event is so important and why I said it's all about building meaningful relationship and share knowledge. I remember like 6-7 years ago when we start this project, EventX. It's actually a side project. And I was like right after graduate my university. I started for the first company, which is a tech company, but at that time I don't know how to really start a product company. So I went to a trip in Silicon Valley and we visit different companies like TechCrunch and different tech startups. And I was like amazed by that. And accidentally, I found an event in Silicon Valley. It's called the Fundraising 101. It was hosted by a lawyer, and there's a bunch of founders and people to join. Like it's just only like 20 people or something. At that event, I really learned how actually people just raise funds by an idea or just by a prototype. And I was so amazed by that because I never thought of like that is actually a way. I thought it's like everything you need to build from scratch, do it yourself. But actually, as I'm new to a concept of fundraising, and that's what I learned from that mini gathering and events. And after that, actually, when I come back to Hong Kong, I went to different conferences. And in conferences, I pumped into different people. And there's one conference, like I remember, it's called the Rise Conference. It's one of the biggest tech conferences in Hong Kong. And at that conference, I pumped into a guy. That guy actually just like, we met virtually online before, and then we say hi to each other. And he was an investor, and he introduced me to another investor that he's talking to at the table. And at that time, that lady is actually from China. What happened is that lady is quite interested in our project, and she brought me back all the way to Xiamen. It's a city, it's a place in China, and meet their partners in the fund. I was presenting. I remember there's like a group of people, like around 10 people, listen to me, my sharing of the ideas. And eventually that series of meetings triggered the investment of that company. And eventually we really raised $1 million US, because we pumped into each other at the Rise Conference. And now like we are still chatting with each other. They're the supporter, they're the shareholder of the company. And that's how powerful the event could be. It really helped you build a lot of this kind of deep, very meaningful relationship, and really learn a lot of knowledge through the events. So even like after like there were so many events that I have been, that I met a lot of mentors, really good friends, maybe even like potential partners. And sometimes I heard love story that people actually met each other, their loved one, at the events. And that's the power of event, and that's the meaning of events. And we want to empower that, is to make it happen more often, easier, and so people actually can use technology to create that experience. It's not just for me, it's just like actually it can create for everybody in different places. So our ultimate vision, we believe events shouldn't be that difficult, shouldn't be that troublesome, and technology can really empower everybody to organize events anywhere and anytime and for anyone. And that's actually our ultimate vision. So the second part we talk about is the mission. So what's our mission? So we believe event is very applicable to everybody, to any industry. But the first mission we want to accomplish is to help company to leverage the power of events. So we want to help companies to find new customers, to build relationship with the clients, and also even turn into revenue through events. So as I mentioned, event actually build a lot of very meaningful relationship, and you can share knowledge. So company can share knowledge about their brand, their company, and even about their topics or their trend. And eventually through that, they leverage that and build relationship with their clients. And ultimately, it will help the business to maintain relationship with their clients, to engage their potential client or future clients or existing clients, and even turn that into revenue and really support any industry and any business. And I think that's the first mission. So we really help business to leverage the power events to share knowledge and build relationship. And that's our mission. So now we're going to talk about the core values. Core value is the principle when we make decision, and day to day, like how do we make decision, how do we do things, and basically the culture of it. So we actually have a short form for our core values. We call it the Agile. So it's an Agile with an H. So it actually stands for high standard, act as owner, constant growing, initiative, leveraging, and empathy. So let's start one by one. So let's start with the high standard, the H. And high standard basically means, I was thinking high standard is a very easy way to think about it is when you have food in restaurant, it's a Michelin star standard. So that means actually when people think about when you do the project, when it's a function or it's a goal, when you deliver, people will give you a Michelin star. And that is what does it mean by a high standard. So you know that it's a normal restaurant and Michelin star, they have a different standard and they do everything differently, detailing, very precise and actually very particular to a high standard and hold themselves to a high standard and constantly innovating. And that's the behind high standard. And also think about when you do the things, do the project, you think people will give you a label of high standard label. And it's all about over-deliver. So beyond what people expected, and that's the first core value, high standard H. And the second one is act like an owner. So what's that mean is basically when you make every single decision, you think about you are the owner of the company, you are the owner of that task. If you own it, what you would do. So you think like an owner, you act like an owner, and you take up ownership. And that is actually what it means, act like an owner. And the third one is constantly growing. So because I believe that actually success leaves trace. That means actually there's a lot of people have done it before. So like, we want people that really, they keep on learning and growing. So you might read books, you might have mentors, you can watch videos, could be material movie, white paper, anything that learn the best practice. And we believe everything actually have a best practice. And so you can constantly growing from learning from other people's experience and also constantly growing yourself to keep on becoming a better self compared to yesterday. And also proactively practice and learning from the success, and also learning from the failure, no matter it's from other people or from yourself. And the next one, I, stands for initiative. And initiative means you don't wait until the things to be assigned. You be proactive on it, and you focus on what you can do instead of what you cannot do. So you focus on what's possible instead of what's not possible. And being initiative basically means you're being very proactive. So you really take the lead and make things better. When you see a problem, you see a hiccups, or you see obstacles, you solve it, you step up and do it instead of wait and see. So that will be the next one, initiative. Another one stands for L, is the leveraging. So leveraging means, I would say, a 10 times mentality. What's that mean is whatever you do, you create, you have a mind that it can be used 10 times, it can create a 10 time impact. So what's that mean is we basically do everything in the mind that other people can leverage it, benefit it from the future. It's about building workflow, building process, building automation, and so that you don't do it just like manually every time. So every time you make it better and better and better. So that become a system. So you build a system for the business, and you build a system for your team, for yourself. And the next one and the last one is the empathy. So empathy means basically you anticipate or you feel how other people feel. You anticipate the thinking, the expectation and feeling of other people. Could be your colleagues, clients, or other people. And being really empathetic on it and think in a more flexible way so that you can serve them. You can think about how to serve other people, and also practice active listening. So a lot of people will give you ideas, say something, or give you feedback, and we really try to understand them and the need of the people, and also people around you, your teammate, so that you really try to be very consciously listen and understand them. So that is the empathy. So if you add it up, it's agile in the short form. So that's actually our core values, and that's our guiding principle, how we make decisions and how we build a culture. And eventually use this core value to guide us to achieve the vision and mission altogether. So I hope that today give you a brief idea on our vision, mission, and core values. And that's basically the foundation of EventX and how we build this mission and core values and to achieve the goal to make the world a better place.